Okay, very good. Good evening, and welcome to the Boardman Civic Association's Election Forum. I'm Mark Luke, a member of the Boardman Civic Association, and we're here tonight to inform our association members, Boardman residents, and interested community members on the candidates and issues on the November 4th general election ballot. We ask you now to please join us and stand for our Pledge of Allegiance and then an invocation led by Kathy McNabb Welsh. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Let us pray. As the psalmist writes, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people to whom he has chosen as his heritage." Heavenly Father, as we gather together this evening, we give thanks for the blessing of living in the United States of America. We are grateful for the unalienable rights endowed by you to all citizens. We pray for those who serve in public office and for those who seek public office. May they always be guided by your example of servant leadership. We pray for our community. Bless our families, our schools, our businesses, and our first responders. We pray for all citizens of the United States. May we love our country passionately and treat each other as you would have us do, with love, compassion, and respect. Bestow upon us that grace. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Kathy. And that's a good reminder. If Kathy McNabb Welsh ever says to you, please remain standing, you remain standing, okay? So we appreciate those here in attendance this evening and those watching on taped rebroadcast. You have many news and entertainment options in your life, yet you are choosing to be an informed electorate and voter, and we thank you for your consideration of your civic duties. We're also thankful for the Boardman Civic Association's membership and board, and Boardman Park staff and commissioners for all of their valuable support. At this time, one of our traditions at all of our functions, we ask anyone who has served the United States military or is currently enlisted in the United States military to please stand or raise your hand that we may recognize your service. Nope. Thank you very much. We thank the Boardman Schools Television Network for being here this evening, advisors Joe Hollabaugh, Amy Radinovic, and students Lily Austin, Zoe Crespo, Zachary Slanina, Carmen Cortez, and Lucy Smith. Thank you all very much for being here this evening. You know, as this is our election forum, we introduce elected office holders that are not on our forum agenda this evening or speaking this evening. With us is Mahoney County Area Court Judge in Boardman, Judge Joe Hauser. Judge. Thank you. Mahoney County Probate Court Judge Robert Russo. Boardman Township Trustee Larry Moliterno. Larry. Boardman School Board members Vicki Davis, John Landers, and Tom Varley. I don't think we missed anybody, but are there any other candidates on the November ballot here that would like to just stand up and introduce themselves, as this is an election forum? Anyone here? Okay, very good, thank you. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the president of the Boardman Civic Association for her comments. Please welcome McKenna Osinger.
Thank you, Mark, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for joining us tonight for our annual Candidates and Issues Forum. As Mark mentioned, my name is McKenna Ozinger, for those of you who may not know me, and I'm the president of the Boardman Civic Association. Before we get started, I just want to give a quick introduction to our board and thank them for their dedication to this association and to our community. First, our officers, our Vice President, Meg Harris, Treasurer Mark Hadley, and Secretary Mark Luke. And our board members, Jeff Barone, Attorney Marty Bushy, Karen McCollum, Tim Saxton, Rick Schaefer, Dan Segul, Joe Sylvester Jr., Tom Testa, and Kevin Willis. For those of you who are not very familiar with the Boardman Civic Association, we are a group of local business, civic, and community leaders interested in the general welfare and development of Boardman Township. We have quarterly meetings to receive updates on matters in the township, as well as news on the schools, park systems, and business environment. Our dinner meetings and events include our spring business mixer, our annual academic achievement scholarship dinner, general election forum, and annual awards dinner meeting. In certain years, when warranted, we also host a primary election forum. If you are interested in becoming a member of BCA, the membership is well worth your time and investment for the networking, fellowship, and our fine dining. Please see our brochures that we have at the table. Ask a fellow board member for more information or visit our website if you're interested in becoming a member. Our most recent association event this year was in April. We hosted our annual Academic Achievement Scholarship Dinner, in which we awarded 6 $1,000 scholarships to Boardman resident seniors to use towards continuing their education. Please join us for our next event here in Boardman Park if you're interested on October 20th for our Community Awards Dinner meeting, where we will recognize local building projects and community service awards and celebrate our 75th anniversary. Thank you all, and I'll hand it back to Mark.
Okay, thank you, McKenna. Very good. Since our last dinner meeting in April, our community has been busy and thriving. Summertime activities in our parks and recreation centers, vacations, travel, commerce, and various industries, including retail, real estate, medicine, and many others. Our safety forces keeping us secure. Boardman Community Baseball hosted over a dozen tournaments, let alone their regular teams. Really amazing. And this past Saturday was the 40th running of the Spartan Invitational Cross Country Meet. The 40th. That's amazing. Thousands of people come in for these events. Fields of Dreams, Spartan Invitational, come into our community. Thousands of people. They enjoy it, they have good time, they have good commerce, they bring their dollars into our community as well. And it's really a shining star, many of those events. By the way, the course record for the Spartan Invitational, which is a 5K, hilly, 3.1 mile course, was set by someone in this room. In 2013, that record is 15 minutes and 7 seconds. For those of you doing the math, that's 4 minutes and 52 seconds per mile. Where's Mark Hadley? Mark, would you stand up? There he is, the record holder. He doesn't like that, but I do. And I'm up here. And of course, we took time this year to pause and be thankful Americans on Memorial Day, Independence Day, and Labor Day. Here's a quick part of the agenda that Judge Rusu just loves. It's his favorite. By way of history, on September 15th, 1902, Chicago Cubs infielders Tinker, Evers, and Chance turned their first double play in a 6-3 win over Cincinnati, making famous the phrase from Tinker to Evers to Chance. In 1916, tanks were used for the first time in warfare. In 1928, Scottish bacteriologist Alexander Fleming discovers penicillin, changing the world. He was sorting through petri dishes containing colonies of bacteria Staphylococcus. Really a miracle. 1982, USA Today was first published. And on this day, in September 15th, 1997, 2 gentlemen in Menlo Park, California, put in a patent, or a domain name request. Tim Saxton, where's Tim? Tim's our resident mathematician. What is a 1 followed by 100 zeros called? A Google, that's right. But these 2 geniuses couldn't spell Google correctly. Instead of G-O-O-G-O-L, it's G-O-O-G-O-E. So again, something else that really changed this world. On September 15th, 1997, the domain name Google.com. So all these occurrences took place on September 15th. Pretty amazing. Now to our election forum. United States of America, 50 states that form one union, not the reverse. It's not a democracy, it's a constitutional representative republic. However, on the local level, our systems of government and the election process do very much act like a democracy, which brings us here this evening to our election forum. Speakers this evening are from the levy issues and candidate races on the November ballot, met our RSVP guidelines, and agreed to our format. This forum is not a debate. It is an informational format, as well as an opportunity to meet the candidates and issues representatives in person. We will not be entertaining questions during the forum. If you wish to address a candidate or issue speaker, you can do that after the forum has concluded. Issue speakers are allotted up to 3 minutes to present. Candidate speakers will present in last name alphabetical order and are also allotted up to 3 minutes to present. Karen McCallum is our timekeeper. Karen, Queen Wave, there you go. Very good. Karen's our timekeeper. She will let you know when you're up against the clock with some of those things she's holding up right now. So very good. If you go over, Karen will tackle you and drag you out of the room. So, judge yourself accordingly. Yeah, it only happened once. It wasn't ugly. It was not on camera, thankfully, but we got to watch out for those things. Okay, very good. So the issues tonight, there are four different levies, but three different speakers. So at first, we welcome, representing the two levies of the Boardman Local School District, Superintendent Chris Neifer.
Are we ready to start, Karen? You ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to come and talk tonight about Boardman schools, and specifically about the two levies that we have on the ballot. It was my second year here as superintendent. Really proud of the work that's being done in Boardman schools. We talk about our mission statement all the time, and the fact that we transform lives through academics, athletics, and the arts. And it's not just a bunch of words, right? That's something we live every day. Proud of how supportive our teachers are and the work they do with our kids within the classrooms. But since I only have 3 minutes, let's go ahead and jump to the tax levies here. So the first levy is a 1991 current expense levy. It was originally approved at 6 mills back in 1991. The effective rate of that levy is now less than half. It's now at 2.47 mills. The amount it generates has remained the same at $3.5 million. And on the ballot, it will tell you that it amounts to about $86 annually for each $100,000 of the county auditor's appraised value. The second levy is a 1996 current expense levy. Originally approved at 5.9 mills, its effective rate is now 2.9 mills. It generates about $4.2 million. This levy renewal is proposed as a continuing levy to ensure long-term financial stability of our local schools. And again, on the ballot, it gives you the numbers that it'll cost about $102 annually for each $100,000 of county auditor's appraised value. When we put all of those together, it amounts to about 50 cents a day per that $100,000 appraised property value from the auditor's office. So real quickly, what is a current expense levy? What do we use that money for, right? So a few of the major pieces out of our general fund budget are things like personnel costs, educational materials, utilities, and maintenance, transportation. Those are just some of the areas that money goes to help support. So one of the other pieces I want to make sure we get across tonight is that since these levies were first passed back in the 90s, so over 30 years ago, the average rate of inflation has been about 2.5% each year. That means the same dollar from the 90s is worth only about 45 cents today. We continue to do our very best to be good stewards of your tax dollars and still provide the best educational opportunities for our students. I know that's a lot to digest in a short time, but I was told we only had 3 minutes. So I want to leave you here tonight with 3 things that I hope you'll take home with you. 1, these are levy renewals, not new money. The tax rate of the school portion will not cost you any more than you're currently paying. What you've been paying for it breaks down to about 50 cents a day per $100,000 of the county auditor's appraised value. And the third and last piece is that these are current expense levies, which added together make up a total of $7.7 million out of our $53 million general fund budget. It's about 14.5% of our current budget. That amount is vital to our programs and services. We're grateful to our community and their continued support that enable us to keep our tradition of excellence Spartan strong. Thank you. Got it?
Okay, thank you very much, Superintendent Knifer. And just to recap, so 2 levies on the ballot, both renewals. What? We'll wait for you. Just to recap.
Yes.
So 2 levies, both renewals. One is a 5-year,
One is a 5.
and one is continuing.
We're asking continue.
Continuing. Okay, very good. Got that clarity. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, our next levy is the Mahoney County Senior Services Levy. That is actually a commissioner's levy, is administered by Direction Home. And speaking this evening about the levy renewal is Joe Rossi from Direction Home. Thank you.
Well, they said we only had 3 minutes, but of course I brought a book. Now, it's the printing's got to be big when you reach a certain age. You need to do that. First of all, good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank the Boardman Civic Association for the opportunity to discuss Issue 1, which is the renewal of the Mahoney County Senior Services Levy. Since the first vote was approved for a senior levy in 2016 and renewed in 2020, this levy has quietly and powerfully changed the lives of older adults and their caregivers. Because of these funds, older adults have received over 830,000 home-delivered meals. We've done nearly 400,000 hours of personal care services. And personal care services are assistance in grooming, bathing, dressing, and other hands-on services that we provide. The levy has also provided minor home modifications to keep people safe in their homes, emergency response systems, and adult protective services. We've also used the levy funds to do community programs such as the Senior Farmers Market, which provides fresh fruits and vegetables to our seniors while helping local farms. We also do recreational opportunities which reduce social isolation of our seniors. We provide funding for the the Mahoney County Sheriff's Senior Unit, which strengthens the safety net for the most vulnerable of our neighbors. What makes this program unique is that it fills in the gaps for folks who aren't Medicaid eligible or have, they just make a little bit too much money to have the services that they need. So it helps them stay at home where they're safe. We're good stewards of our levy dollars. 98 cents of every dollar goes directly to service. We have a contract with the Mahoning County Commissioners, and we are capped at 5% of the money, and we never spend 5% of our administrative costs. We never do. We use those funds actually to provide additional services that are needed, like when an emergency happens. One of the things we used was when that building unfortunately blew up downtown in International Towers. Next door to it is a senior high-rise. Those folks needed to be moved. We use those admin dollars to take care of those folks, to make sure they got the services they needed. Mahoney County senior population is growing rapidly. I'm one of them. The need for support is always needed. Supporting the senior services levy isn't just someday I might need these services. It's about making sure our parents, our grandparents, friends, neighbors can age with dignity today. While the taxpayers, we prevent folks from going into nursing homes which is a more expensive cost. So they get to stay where they're at. That's why we're renewing the levy. I just want to say it's not just a compassionate choice, it's a smart choice. And I'd like to thank you for your support for Issue 1, the Mahoning County Senior Services Levy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, that is issue 1. That is the Mahoney County Commissioner's levy, but is administered by Direction Home, and it's the Senior Services levy up for renewal. Okay, next we have the Mahoney County Board of Developmental Disabilities levy, and representing and speaking on behalf of that is Superintendent Bill Whitaker.
First off, thank you to the Boardman Civic Association for inviting us out here to speak tonight on behalf of issue 2. You know, it's always great to get out in front of voters here, and certainly I'll stick around if people have questions afterward and you would like to ask me anything. I'm more than happy to do that. So good evening, everyone. As you said, my name is Bill Whitaker. I'm here representing the Citizens for Developmental Disabilities levy to ask for your support for issue 2. Issue 2 is a 3 mil levy renewal that will not increase taxes. This levy was first passed in 2000. It's crucial to supporting the programs and facilities operated by the Mahoney County Board of Developmental Disabilities and our provider partners. For a homeowner with a $100,000 property, the cost is $62.27 annually. And if my math is correct, that's about 17 or 18 cents a day. I'm sure you'll check that for me, huh? So, it is important to note that the Mahoney County Board of Developmental Disabilities does not receive an increase when property values are reevaluated. We run a school, but we are not a school district. So we do not have a 20 mil floor. We do not get increases. Only new funding that the board gets is when there's new construction. I wanted to make that differentiation. Mahoney County Board of Developmental Disabilities serves nearly 2,000 individuals every year. Over 1,200 of those individuals receive service and support administration, or what many people know as case management, and approximately 975 of those individuals are on a Medicaid waiver. These waivers are vital because they allow the board to access state and federal matching funds, which help offset the cost of the services provided. Through this program, nearly $104 million in services are provided in Mahoney County every year, adding to the local economy and employing nearly 1,000 people in the DD system across the county. These waiver funds directly impact lives by supporting programs such as adult day programming, transportation, residential services, employment services, and home modifications. These services enable individuals with developmental disabilities to live and work in their local communities, fostering independence and inclusion. The Early Intervention Department is another cornerstone of the board's work. This department serves around 600 infants and toddlers and their families each year, with an average monthly enrollment of nearly 300 children. These children and their families receive personalized support through individual family service plans, ensuring that their unique needs are met during these critical early years. Additionally, Leonard Kurtz School provides daily education and transportation services to nearly 60 children. This school is a vital resource for families, offering specialized education and care for children with developmental disabilities. The Mahoney County Board of Developmental Disabilities employs over 170 staff members, including 150 full-time, 15 part-time, and 7 intermittent or substitute employees. These dedicated professionals provide a wide range of services across the lifespan for individuals with developmental disabilities. Their expertise and commitment, combined with strong partnerships with local providers, allows MCBDD to deliver high-quality services every day. The passage of Issue 2 is vital to maintaining these services for nearly 2,000 individuals and their families. Without this levy, MCBDD would not be able to continue providing the support that so many in our community rely on. Your vote for Issue 2 ensures that the board and its provider partners can continue offering the help and resources needed for the citizens of Mahoney County to live healthy, productive, and fulfilling lives. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much, Superintendent Whitaker. And to recap, so that's the Mahoney County Board of Developmental Disabilities. I think you said Citizens for Developmental Disabilities levy. Issue 2, it's a 3 mil levy renewal. They're also asking for that to be a continuing levy going forward. Okay, very good. Okay, moving forward in our forum to the elected races. First up will be the Boardman Local School District Board of Education. There are 4 seats up on the ballot, and there are 4 to elect. So if everyone votes for themselves, they should be okay. With us here to speak this evening is Scott Murray, and we're excited to have Scott Murray here because normally we have these races as we only invite speakers to come to the races that are contested. because we want to hear from these people. So we issued that invitation when it was a contested race. One of the candidates is no longer in that race, so it's still 4 for 4. But we've never heard from Scott Murray before as a candidate, and our membership was interested. So we welcome you here this evening and look forward to your message. Please welcome Scott Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Luke. Thank you, Boardman Civics, for inviting me to tonight's dinner. Again, my name is Scott Murray, lifelong resident of Boardman Township, married the love of my life. We graduated from Boardman High School together. I have 3 beautiful daughters that all graduated from Boardman High School. One is currently a teacher down in Orlando, so she's keeping on the tradition of education. Why did I want to do this? My wife thinks I'm crazy, and she's probably 100% right. But I've seen Boardman. Amy always says that I bleed Boardman, and this is something that I wanted to do. I've known Mr. Saxon for many years. I see Mr. Knifer now. I work well with the current board members. I've worked on the Soccer Association with Ms. Rivera, and I work with Vicki at the fire station. And I just thought that I feel Boardman is going in the right direction with the schools. I would love to see. I enjoy seeing the arts, I enjoy seeing the education, and I just feel that if not me, then who? And this is what I think I'm called to do. My kids are done, they're graduated, there's no agenda. I just want what's best for Boardman Township and Boardman schools, and that's what I've always been. That's what's always driven me. So thank you very much. I do appreciate the time to meet each and every one of you. Again, I'm voting for myself, so I'm pretty sure I'm a shoo-in. So, but thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Scott. As you've disclosed your ballot choices, we wish you congratulations. So, yeah. Not everyone is open enough to say who they're going to vote for, so that's fine. Okay, next we have the Boardman Township Fiscal Officer. Brad Calhoun will be speaking this evening. Brad was appointed to this position, and so he's running for the election. We've never heard from Brad in this position. He's spoken here before as a trustee candidate, but again, our membership was interested in hearing from Brad in this new position about the fiscal officer. So please welcome Brad Calhoun.
Well, good evening. Brad Calhoun. I've been the trustee for 15 years now, and I served along with Tom and Larry, and it's been a great working relationship all those years, and I look forward to continuing that relationship as we move forward. During those years, I've worked closely with residents, elected officials, the staff, and of course, community partners. In February, I was appointed to the position after the retirement of Bill Light. I'm now seeking to serve the remaining term, which is up in March of 2028. Before serving in township, I was proud to say I taught for Boardman Schools for 33 years. Teaching gave me a unique understanding of our community, talking and listening to students and families. Many of those students are now raising their children in this community and working in this community. Teaching also has reinforced my belief in accountability, preparation, and building trust. I understand how important trust, transparency, and fiscal responsibility are keeping the township thriving and resilient. As one of the roles of the township trustee, we of course appropriate all money. And then it would be up to the fiscal office to make sure that those are spent accurately. So as a trustee, we oversaw budgets. We gave input on negotiating contracts, supported long-term planning, and made the best decisions to support our residents. While serving as trustee, the community has shown consistent support to the men and women that serve our community in the road department, police department, fire department, zoning, administration. The community has always continued to support us through all of our endeavors. Every renewal in those 15 years has always passed soundly. One thing that I can tell you that in 15 years, we've only asked for one new levy in 15 years. And one new levy in 15 years is not an accident. It's a result of careful long-term planning, smart use of resources, and respect for the taxpayers. We did have one renewal that we came back with as a replacement with a decrease, which did generate new dollars. So there were basically two levies that came back through us that generated new dollars. All right. One thing that has helped us survive over the years with living within our budget is I would go on the limb and say that we are the only township out of 1,308 townships in Ohio that has brought in over $50 million in grants in the last 15 years. I guarantee you that we probably outdone all villages and most cities in this state. We actually got one grant that's for flood mitigation and stuff in the $40 million range that even the governor, they've never been able to achieve that at the state level. So working with our administration, working with our engineers, they were able to successfully push through a grant that will, in the next couple of years, make another move to tremendously help the flooding in Boardman. So I'm glad to be part of that team. Now that money comes into fiscal office, so I will make sure that that is spent exactly how it's supposed to be and make a difference in the flooding. As far as fiscal office, there's a lot of little roles, but the main three: safeguard the township records, managing payroll, ensuring that every dollar is accounted for. So when they ask me, when they appropriate money, I got to make sure that it's spent as is and accounted for at the end of the day. This is not a political job, it's a trust. With that being said, I want to thank the staff of our fiscal office, the township administration, department heads for making the transition smooth, as I have had this job now for about 6 months. My commitment to you: protect taxpayer dollars with accuracy and integrity, maintain clear and transparent records, work closely with the trustees and staff on long-term planning. Looking ahead, I want to continue to update the financial practices, ensure Boardman is prepared for the challenges of tomorrow, whether that means investing in our infrastructure, supporting public safety, or preserving the quality of life that our residents deserve. I stepped into this role to continue serving the community, and I'm proud of the steady and the responsible approach we have taken the past 15 years. But there's still work to be done. So this November, I respectfully ask for your trust, your support, and your vote. Together, we can keep the Boardman financially strong and Boardman moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Okay, Brad, thank you very much. It's good to be informed about all of these offices. Unfortunately, news what it is, and human being, our nature is what it is, and it's not till there's a controversy or a problem do we think, who's in that office, or who's doing what, and what's going on. So this is an opportunity to, kick the tires, talk to these people, shake their hands, look them in the eyes, understand who they are, what they are, and how to get a hold of these people should you have a need or a problem. Next up, we have the Boardman Township Trustees. There are 4 candidates for 2 seats. In alphabetical order, we welcome first to speak Mr. Tom Costello.
Good evening. I'm Tom Costello, and I have had the honor of serving as one of Boardman's trustees for the past several years. I want to thank the Civic Association for this important forum. I'm a 30-year member of the Boardman Civic Association, past board member and past president. During my tenure as your trustee, while working with the other elected officials, Boardman has witnessed significant growth. The new emergency room at Akron Children's Hospital is fabulous. The new showroom addition at Window World over on Southern Boulevard. The new United Way office and warehouse on Market Street. The new offices for R&J Trucking on Southern Boulevard, and the substantial expansion at Southwoods Hospital that will serve all of us. These projects have been required to follow updated and stringent water retention guidelines, and they've done so. Speaking of water, the township has accomplished considerable success in that area, such as the new Forest Lawn Water Park on Market Street. This project will help more than 1,200 homes and businesses by detaining almost 2 million gallons of water to prevent flooding, and it has already proven that it works. There is also a plan being engineered now, as Brad alluded to solve many of the problems that have occurred on 224 by the Boardman Plaza. The cost of these projects exceed $50 million, with over 85% already covered by state and federal grants. But the work isn't done yet. We continue to search for even more grant dollars. Working with my fellow elected officials, we've been able to maintain fiscally sound policies and help to rebuild Boardman's outstanding safety forces. Because of my many years in office, I have established close working relationships and trust with other elected officials and community leaders throughout the entire valley. I currently serve as one of 9 voting members on the Ohio Public Works Commission. I represent all townships in Mahoning and Trumbull County on that commission. I currently chair the District Advisory Committee to the Mahoning County Board of Health, and I attend all of their meetings. I also serve on the Mahoning County 911 Committee, and I'm past president of the Mahoning County Township Association. As you can see, I am involved in our community, and I'm working every day to make Boardman a nice place to call home. I humbly request your support and your vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. Our next candidate for Boardman Township Trustee, Matt Gambrell.
You ready with that timer? All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Matt Gambrell, and I'm running for Boardman Township Trustee. When I tell people this, the first question I usually get is, what does a trustee do? Then after I explain it, the second question is, why would you want to go and do a thing like that? It's not a dig at me. It's an observation of the challenges facing Boardman. This township has over 40,000 residents and thousands of businesses, and a trustee is going to hear about it and expected to provide answers when members of the community aren't happy. Issues like crime control and police funding, flooding, effective ambulance and fire services, road maintenance, taxes, that's a big one. Will the Southern Park Mall ever pay their taxes? And public perception of government and transparency, to name a few. People say, Matt, you seem really busy. You got a wife, you've got 2 wonderful kids in elementary school, you run your own law practice, and you're involved in a ton of community service groups. Why would you subject yourself and your family to the added stresses of a trustee job? This is a fair question. And the answer is because I love this town and I care about its future. That's my motivation, and that's what's driving this campaign. I've lived here for 43 years. I grew up on Ridgewood Drive. My parents still live in that house. I graduated Boardman High School in 2000. I've had some great memories and forged lifelong friendships living in Boardman. My wife and I decided to live here and raise our kids here so they could have similar experiences. As much as I like this town, there's always room for improvement. So I got involved in my community. I joined the Boardman Lions Club to aid those less fortunate in our town. I joined the Boardman School Fund for Educational Excellence to help raise money for classroom projects and enhance the experience of Boardman students. I joined the Boardman Civics Association to help spread public awareness of election issues and to honor outstanding members of our community. I joined the Boardman Zoning Appellate Board because zoning regulations are important for both safety and the aesthetic aspects of our town. The point is, this town can be a great place to live, but there are still many needs and issues that need addressed. I believe my experience as a lifelong resident, an attorney, a husband and parent, an active leader and member in community education and township groups have prepared me for this role and make me an ideal candidate for trustee. My name is Matt Gambrell, and I'd appreciate your vote on November 4th.
Thank you very much, Matt. Our next Boardman Township trustee candidate, Cody McCormick.
Good evening. I'm Cody McCormick. My family came to Boardman for the performing arts. I grew up on that stage, delivered the mail through these neighborhoods, and today I lead large-scale operations and people at Amazon, where I've been promoted 4 times in the last 6 years for delivering results. I know what it's like to work hard, lead people, and get things done. That's the kind of leadership Boardman needs right now. You know, I see a Boardman that's alive again, with vibrant, walkable districts where you can park one time and spend the whole evening shopping, dining, and enjoying green space. Places where families gather, seniors feel welcome, and small businesses thrive. Just imagine our plazas transformed into destinations again. Not empty shells, but hubs of energy that attract investment and to give our community back its heartbeat. That's the Boardman we deserve, okay? But you know what? I gotta be honest with you. What we see in Boardman today, right now, breaks my heart. Flooded streets, half-empty plazas, a mall on life support, zoning codes stuck in the 1990s. You know it, I know it, and deep down, even they know it. That's not the Boardman we deserve. Now, others brag about high standards and then give us chicken chains, car washes, and excuses. Look, folks, they're not out of options. They're out of excuses. Now, I'll bring proven strategies that actually work. Modern zoning reform, mixed-use overlays, business recruitment, streamlined permits, smart incentives to attract businesses and redevelop our plazas. These aren't theories. This isn't pie in the sky. They're tools. And it's time Boardman used them. In fact, what I'm offering isn't anything new. My plan models off of the most successful townships in this state. You know, homeowners have carried the load for too long. But my focus is simple. Expand the base, not the burden. Real growth instead of higher taxes. Because what's been missing, folks, is leadership, willing to act. And you know what leaders do? They lead from the front. And that's exactly where I'll be, leading from the front, fighting for the very future this community deserves. So I hope I can earn your vote in November. McCormick, vote McCormick. Let's raise the bar for Boardman. Let's raise our standards. Thank you.
Cody, thank you very much. The 4th candidate for Boardman Township Trustees, Steve Yakovon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steve Yakovon, and I am currently one of your Boardman trustees. I would like to first start by thanking the Boardman Civic Association for putting on this wonderful event. I'd also like to thank my family, my kids, my wife, who are all here tonight, especially my wife. She's been my rock throughout this whole process. I have been your trustee since March of this year. I was selected and earned the position after multiple people were interviewed. Since being chosen, it has been an honor and a privilege to serve the great people of Boardman. As an assistant prosecutor for the last decade, I have dedicated my entire career to keep our community safe by holding offenders accountable for their crimes. Every day, I fight for justice for victims who can't fight for themselves. I bring that same passion and tenacity to the office of Boardman trustee. I have gone toe-to-toe with some of the best attorneys in the area, and I've continued to prove that not only am I a talented litigator, I'm also a team player, and I communicate well with others. I have found in the 6 months since becoming a trustee that one of the most important qualities is to be able to communicate effectively with citizens and work cooperatively with the other trustees, with our police department, fire department, road department, and zoning department. If you speak to any one of those branches, they will tell you that not only am I passionate about the success of Boardman, but I listen to the issues and we work together to come up with solutions. Since taking office, I have personally assisted multiple citizens, taken phone calls by those citizens, returned letters, met with committees and Ohio leaders, and have dedicated countless hours to the success of our township. I have worked closely with the police departments, fire departments, and also first aid responders throughout my entire career. And thus, one of my priorities and what I believe I am uniquely capable to deliver to Boardman Township is to support and advocate for the wonderful first responders we have here in Boardman. I know how important the services they provide are, but too often those first responders give so much to our community and they don't receive much in return. That is why I was excited to be an initial partner and supporter of the Smith House Reclamation Project. This project, headed by Chief Worth, involves turning the Smith property into a wellness center. A wellness center for our area's first responders, where they can relax, work out, learn, and be provided services that they normally can't receive. In fact, I believe Chief Worth has even signed me up to teach a few classes once the wellness center is up and running. It was one of the first votes I was a part of when I took office, and it will be a great addition to Boardman Township. I keep hearing, ladies and gentlemen, that we need change in Boardman. Well, I was brought on by the current administration to be that change, and I have been effective in the last 6 months of this office. I'm discovering throughout this whole election that for those who are running for the position of Boardman trustee, it's easy to promise the world, right? It's easy to promise things that you can't even accomplish in the role of Boardman trustee. Being in the seat that I am in now, I am not going to do that. I have built my reputation in the courtroom, and I stand by my reputation. I am not going to make ridiculous promises to you to get elected. What I can promise to everyone in this room and every citizen of Boardman Township is that if I have the opportunity to continue to serve you, I will fight with the same passion that I give every victim that I see in court. I will be accessible, I will be honest, and I will be an advocate for all things Boardman. Thank you all for your time and attention, and I respectfully ask for your vote this coming November. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much, Steve. And again, that's Boardman Township trustee candidates. There are 4 candidates for 2 positions to elect. Our next speaker is running for the Educational Service Center of Eastern Ohio Governing Board. The Boardman schools have a long and deep relationship with the ESC, the Educational Service Center, one of programming and one of a large dollar amount commitment every year. So it's important for us to know who those people are and those candidates are as well. So this evening, let me backtrack a second. There are 5 candidates, 3 to elect, 3 positions to elect. And with us this evening, we welcome speaking on behalf of the Educational Service Center candidate, Richard Ferenczak.
Good evening. Thank you for the invite. I really appreciate the forum where I can get my message out. My name is Richard Ferenczak. I live in North Lima, Ohio. I'm a 1986 graduate of Boardman High School. Played football with Tim a long time ago. I'm a 1991 graduate of the University of Toledo College of Pharmacy, where I received a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. I've been a retail pharmacist for 35 years. I've spent the last 20 down at Giant Eagle on Durrell Drive in Boardman. I have a wife, Tracy, who is also a pharmacist. It's a disease. We have a tendency to marry each other. We have 3 grown children, 27, 25, and 23, 2 girls and a boy, all graduated from South Range High School. They all currently have professional STEM degrees, engineers, and nurse anesthetists. If you listen to Ron Verb, you may recognize my voice. I call him probably a lot more than I should, and he refers to me as Rich the Pharmacist. I'm also a Republican and a proud supporter of Donald Trump and the MAGA agenda, and I would approach the office with those fiscal conservative policies that are espoused by Republicans. I'm running for a governor's board seat for the Educational Service Center of Eastern Ohio. They also refer to it as the ESCEO. There are two objectives I would like to achieve, if elected. One is to restore fiscal sanity to the ESCEO, and I'll elaborate on that here in a minute. Two, I would like to put the ESCEO in charge of the College Credit Plus program rather than having it run by each individual school district. All three of my children participated in the College Credit Plus program when they were in high school. All three graduated with between 45 and 60 hours of college credit completed when they graduated high school. This should be a goal that we strive for every high school student to achieve that has the potential to succeed in college, the people that have the correct grade point in ACT. It's not for everybody, but for those students that have what it takes, they should be highly encouraged. It will save them and their parents thousands of dollars in tuition. Now, on the financial side, I have requested and I've received employment contracts for the ESCEO, and like most government entities, they're not really good stewards of our money. 2 years ago, they hired a new superintendent. I have her contract right here. Anybody wants to read it later on, you can call, I'll be glad to share it with you. They gave her a 5-year contract, which includes the following: a salary that starts at $168,500 in year 1, rises to $198,544 in year 5. In addition, an annual annuity that rises from $22,500 in year 1 to $42,500 in year 5. They pay her share, which is 14% of her salary, for her STRS pension contribution each year. She also gets the district's health care plan, 40 days of vacation, about 15 sick days, all district holidays, a $350,000 life insurance plan, a $600 a month expense stipend, as well as district-paid professional dues, fees, and liability insurance. They also pay her Medicare payroll tax, which is 1.45% of her salary, and she is allowed to be paid out for 25 days of her vacation at an inflated per diem rate that adds more than $4,000 to that amount. Now, maybe it's me, but this is a tremendously generous contract. It's one that I've never seen executed in the private sector. And I'd like to know if there's anybody in this room who is so valuable to their employer that they pick up your Social Security and Medicare tax. I doubt I will find anybody. I promise that if I'm elected, I will oppose spending like this whenever I see it. We must stop spending precious taxpayer money by providing government employees with benefits that the taxpayers themselves do not enjoy. I thank you for listening to me, and I hope I've earned your vote this November. Enjoy your evening.
Very good. Thank you very much, Richard. So to recap, there are 3 speakers for levies this evening: Boardman Local School District, Mahoney County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Mahoney County Senior Services Levy. On the elected races, Boardman Local School District Board of Education, Boardman Township Fiscal Officer, Boardman Township Trustees, and Educational Service Center of Eastern Ohio. So thank you to all of our speakers this evening, and to all of you for attending. We thank our president, McKenna Ossinger, Meg Harris, and Mark Hadley for keeping us so well organized. McKenna for the promotional work, BSTN, and area media outlets. We thank you for covering it and the promotional work. And we also thank Karen McCallum and Boardman Park for hosting us this evening. Karen for being that spot-on timekeeper. Thank you, Karen. And a reminder to join us at our next event on October 20th, our Community Awards Dinner meeting. There are many elections that occur in this country where you will hear people say, this is the most important election ever in the history of our country. And every time those words are said, they're correct. Because every next election is the most important election in this country. Because in the United States of America, you have the opportunity to vote and decide the future. We are free Americans, and we can decide the future through elections. Most of the world does not have that opportunity. So please embrace it. You also have the choice to not participate, but we as a civic organization encourage you to. You've attended here this evening, you're interested in what's going on in your community, you want to hear from the candidates, hear from these issue speakers, and it's important for you to be informed. So we thank you and we respect you for being here this evening. An informed electorate is a personal responsibility of all Americans, which we owe to our forefathers and the generations who came before us. Those individuals who at great personal risk formed this nation and saw over time to its stewardship, as well as those who have served our country in a military capacity. all to preserve our way of life. We certainly hope you will consider exercising the freedoms you enjoy in this November's election and in many more in the future. On behalf of the Boardman Civic Association, we say thank you, God bless you, and good night.